In the vast fields of Sindh, under the scorching sun, a barefoot woman walked with dignity, not knowing that her courage would shake the foundations of feudal power in Pakistan. Her name was Mai Bakhtawar, and though history books barely mention her, she became a symbol of resistance, sacrifice, and justice for the oppressed farmers of this land. This is the story of a woman who died for a single grain of wheat, and in doing so, changed the destiny of thousands. To understand Mai Bakhtawar, we must first step back into rural Sindh of the 1940s. The land was fertile. The Indus River blessed the soil. But the farmers, known as Haris, lived in misery. They worked tirelessly from dawn to dusk. But the fruits of their labor were snatched away by powerful landlords, the feudal waderas. The Hari system was brutal. Farmers had no land rights. Whatever they grew, they were forced to share, often unfairly. Landlords took the lion's share of crops, while peasants remained hungry in their own homes. In this world of exploitation, rose a simple peasant woman, uneducated, poor, but unbreakable in spirit. Her name, Mai Bakhtawar Lashari. Mai Bakhtawar was born around 1880 in Tandubaider, Sindh. She was a Hari herself, belonging to a poor peasant family. Like countless women of her time, she toiled in the fields, carried water, cooked meals, raised children, and endured the hardships of rural life. But unlike many, she had a fiery spirit. She was known for her straightforwardness, her sense of justice, and her refusal to bow down before injustice. In the 1940s, Sindh witnessed the rise of the Hari movement, a campaign to demand land rights for poor farmers. Leaders like Haider Bakhtawar, known as the father of Sindh's peasant movement, were mobilizing farmers across the province. But this struggle wasn't just fought in speeches and rallies. It was lived in the daily struggles of Haris like Mai Bakhtawar. It was the 22nd of June 1947, just weeks before the creation of Pakistan. At the village of Dani Bakhsh Lashari, peasants had gathered to harvest wheat. Under new agreements inspired by the Hari movement, farmers were demanding their fair half of the crop. But the landlord's men, armed and arrogant, arrived to seize everything. They declared, "All the wheat belongs to the wadera." The farmers resisted. They argued, pleaded, and stood their ground. And then, in the chaos, the guards opened fire. Mai Bakhtawar, standing at the forefront, was shot in the chest. She fell to the ground, the golden wheat turning red with her blood. She died on the spot, a simple peasant woman, slain for defending the right of her community to eat from their own harvest. Her death sent shockwaves through Sindh. The Hari movement mourned her as a martyr. For the peasants, she was no longer just a woman from their village. She was a symbol, a mother of resistance. In villages across Sindh, peasants spoke her name with pride. For the first time, the idea that farmers deserved justice wasn't just theory. It was written in her sacrifice. Haider Bakhtawar and other leaders used Mai Bakhtawar's martyrdom to fuel the struggle further. They reminded the people, if one peasant woman could give her life for land rights, what excuse do the rest of us have to remain silent? 3 years after her death, in 1950, the Sindh Tenancy Act was passed. It legally recognized the rights of tenants and gave farmers the right to claim half of their produce. It wasn't perfect. Landlords still found loopholes and exploitation continued. But it was a beginning. A law written in the blood of peasants like Mai Bakhtawar. Her name lived on in Sindh's memory, In the 1970s, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto named a hall at Sindh University after her. A village and a hospital in Badin also bear her name. Even Benazir Bhutto proudly declared that her father's reforms were inspired by the spirit of martyrs like Mai Bakhtawar. But beyond the buildings and names, her real legacy lies in the courage she inspired. She proved that even the most marginalized, a poor, rural, illiterate woman, could become the spark of a revolution. Mai Bakhtawar never held a microphone, never gave a speech, never led a political rally. She was simply a woman defending her share of wheat. But in that moment, she became greater than any leader, greater than any landlord. Today, when we talk about Pakistan's history, we remember kings, generals, and politicians. But maybe it is time we also remember the barefoot woman who fell in the wheat fields of Sindh and taught us that true power lies not in castles, but in courage. Mai Bakhtawar, the martyr of Sindh, the mother of resistance, the grain of wheat that fed a revolution.